We've heard of Mandela, and we've heard of Gandhi, Nightingale, Fleming, and others of fame. But here I shall tell you of another hero, as not enough people have heard of his name. And I'm naming that name as Stanislav Petrov, and this story I tell you, it is not in jest. And regardless of what you think of this poem, of his actions I beg you, be extremely impressed. 26th of September 1983, in a cold Russian autumn of a very cold war, President Andropov lay in the Kremlin hospital, senile and paranoid and close to death's door. His fear in the White House that President Reagan was planning to nuke them caused him to perspire. In his mind he had reason for his fictitious thinking, as Reagan had called them an evil empire. His government had spent innumerable rubles on a satellite system trained on the US that could tell of the launch of their incoming missiles, give them final warning, a sign of distress. 26th of September 1983, in that cold Russian autumn of a very cold war, a standing soldier, Stanislav Petrov, entered his bunker and then closed the door. He was covering a shift for an indisposed colleague. His task, it was simple, from the KGB thus: keep your eyes trained on all of your systems, and if the missiles are launching, report it to us. And so he sat down and started his duty. A hard-working, diligent soldier was he, but all it was quiet, all it was normal, and all it was peaceful. There was nothing to see. Alarms started flashing, the sirens were crashing, the atmosphere piercing. He looked up in fright at a message to launch retaliatory action from an imminent incoming American strike. He looked at his monitors and all of his systems. His brain, it was frying. From his head the sweat poured. But no real signs of ballistic bombardment. He reset the system, and peace was restored. But he hadn't even had time to hit the override button to reset the system. It happened again. Alarms started flashing, the sirens were crashing, proclaiming of peacetime. It had been a loss. But still no real signs of a US invasion. He reset the system and informed his boss. He hadn't even had time to hang up the phone when the system in panic fired off once again. His boss down the line heard all the commotion, was forced to tell Andropov and all of his men that the message that now met Stan on his system was even more frightening than what went before, that the American missiles were well on their way to blow Mother Russia right into the floor. Now Stan was in the hot seat, and it was Stan's call. If he got it wrong here, it'd mean disaster for all, because if he'd got it wrong, we'd all be dead as mutton. As if he'd said launch, Andropov would have pressed the button. And millions of megatons of nuclear warheads would come rushing from Russia to the rest of the world, each and every nation doused in radiation, complete devastation, completely unfurled. Each nation wiped out by terrible fallout, deformity, destruction, disease and death. Apocalypse, how? Apocalypse now! No chance to hold out or draw another breath. But Stan is a man of steel and precision. When he makes a decision, he sticks to his guns, and that's why we are here on this day of this year, as thanks to him, Andropov did not launch any bombs. And so, did they hail him a hero, proclaim him a saviour for saving humanity from a death worse than death? No. He was summoned by his boss to explain his actions, not promoted or doted, with standing enlarged. From his boss, who commanded, he was reprimanded, sent on his way, and eventually discharged. How could they do this? Such an injustice to a world saviour, to strike such a blow? Well, Stan says himself, the bird that's above always craps on the bird that's below. For in stopping the missiles, he unveiled a flaw in the Soviet military might, and to make matters worse, that terrible flaw was in the Soviet satellite. For in stopping the warnings on that fateful day, which incidentally numbered 5 and not 3, he uncovered a flaw so terrible the world was not allowed to see. For it was all just the haze of the sun's UV rays that had fooled the Soviet satellite, and the close Armageddon that would have left us all deadened was all just a trick of the light. But he still lives today in the east, far away, in a flat on a tower block site. No garden or flower for the man of the hour who was crapped on from such a great height. But he's why we are here on this day of this year, still part of humanity's clan, and we needn't mourn those who were never born, all thanks to the man I call Stan. So we've heard of Mandela, and we've heard of Gandhi, and so many others who rightly stand tall. And to that list I am adding Stanislav Petrov, the man who did save us all.